We're working our way through the practice final. We're going to go through 11 to 15 today. Here we go. A sinusoidal function whose period is 4 pi, maximum value is 6, minimum value is -2, and y-intercept is 6. What is the equation of the function described? There is plenty of helpful information on the board to help you answer this. Now that you've given it a try, let me show you how it's done. This little bit of information is super important. Remember, sometimes it could have f of x as a function, but in our answer choices, it's just written as y equals. So it's just an equation. And this is the parent function with all possible transformations. The last thing we're going to figure out is sine or cosine. The first three things are a, b, and m. There's formulas for each, so we work them out accordingly. Amplitude is max minus min. They gave us the max of 6, so max minus, then parentheses, min is -2. Don't forget parentheses anytime you substitute. That double negative could cause you trouble if you forget to do that. Okay, and it's always over 2. Negative times negative is positive. Divide to get 4. First piece of the puzzle, done. B, formula, 2 pi over period. They tell us the period, 4 pi. How nice of them. 2 pi over 4 pi. 2 goes into 2 once and 4 twice. Pi goes into pi once and pi once. So those become 1. The 2 becomes a 1 and 4 becomes a 2. So we only have 1/2 for B. There it is. And M, another formula, max plus, again, parentheses, min over 2. Don't get these mixed up. They are very similar. Positive times negative, different signs, negative. So 4 over 2 is 2. We have M. And the last thing is to figure out, is it sine or cosine? And everything you need to know for that is in this yellow box. Okay? All you need to do is look at where the y-intercept is. They tell us right here, y-intercept is 6. And how does that relate to what we know already? Well, they also told us, let's change the colors here to make this really obvious. They also told us the max is 6. That is all the information we need. If the y-intercept is the same as the max, it's a positive cosine equation. And that's number 11. Moving on to 12. You should be pausing every slide and trying it before I work it out. Read the question and do that now, please. And here we go. Membership to a local gym is shown in the table. Okay, year 1, there's 14.7 thousand members. Must be a very successful gym with several locations, I'd assume. Membership decreased or increased? Okay, so we need to figure that out by blank people. Okay, by how many people per year from year 2 to 4? Okay, so we're really just focused on year 2 to year 4. What is happening there? Well, you can just see we went from 18.1 thousand members to 12.1. There is a obvious decrease, but by how many? We need to use our average rate of change formula to figure that out. Remember, what's in column, the X column is your A value, and what's in the Y column is your F of A value. So the first value they give you is A, the second value they give you is B. Okay, so year 2 is A, 4 is B. I should have started with that. So A is 2, 4 is B, and I only highlighted these sections. I must have read too quickly. So year 2 to year 4. So we're looking at all of this, and there still is a decrease, right? These numbers are lower than 18. That's still obvious, but we need to figure this out. So the first year, year 2, that's your A value. And f of A is the y value associated with it. We labeled that over here. B is the second value they give you. B is 4. F of B is the y value associated with that. Now we have everything we need to plug into the average rate of change formula. So we do f of B minus f of A over B minus A, subtract, divide, negative number tells you there is a decrease of 2.15. And remember, they told you this is in thousands. So negative 2.15 in thousands. We need to move that decimal place over 3 to get to negative 2,150. That's how many members they lost. They need to change something up to keep their business afloat. 13. Patrick won a sweepstakes and will receive money each week for 52 weeks. All right. Good job, Patrick. The first week, he'll receive $10. That doesn't seem too great, does it? But every week after that, he'll receive 10% more. 10%. That's super important. Than he got the previous week. How much money did he receive over the 52 weeks? I gave you the geometric series formula. That's a clue. Remember, percentage means multiply. That is also a clue. And we need to find the information to plug into our formula. Okay, they told us 52 weeks. That's the amount of time. So 52 goes there for n and there for n. Then what else do we need? A sub 1. Remember, A sub 1 is the first value they give you, $10. Goes right there. The ones are always there. The minus is always there, but we need to put in R. R, remember, is not just 10% as a decimal. He's getting 100%, like week 2. Let's go back to week 1. Week 1, he's getting $10. That is 100% of $10. Week 2, he's getting that $10 plus an additional 10%, correct? So that would be 100% of what he received before, plus an additional 10%. That is 110% of what he received previously, resulting in a decimal of 1.1, which is our rate. Okay. So we plug all those values in, and into our calculator. I would recommend Desmos Scientific Calculator, and just over $14,000. Not bad for just some extra money. $14, for which intervals is the function positive? This is a very, very quick problem if you know what you're looking for. Express your answer using interval notation. There are your options. And the answer is B. Okay. It's any part. So if you're asked where a function is positive, graphically, it's any part of the graph where the graph line is above the x-axis. You see that in bold blue. One way you could think about it is to imagine the graph line is maybe the top of a mountain, and this is sea level, and this part dips into the ocean. Anything that's above sea level is positive. And number 15, what's the explicit rule for the sequence? You need to figure out what type of sequence it is on your test. But for now, I'm telling you, if you look around, you will see. And you can always test when you go from -83 to -61 and so on, what's happening while you're adding, right? You're adding by 22. You could use your calculator or your pencil and paper to figure that out. You are adding 22 every time. There's a little bit of work there to discover that value. And we need to ultimately use this formula. That's what they're asking us to do. A sub 1 is the first value they give us, -83. N, we don't know. They didn't tell us. D is the difference. We found that there, the 22. So, okay, we have A sub 1, we have D, we don't know N. But that's okay. Look at your answer choices. They all have N in them, and they should. Remember, that's that variable you can plug in to find different things. Okay? So, we just distribute. Distribute the -22, combine like terms of -83 and -22, and your answer is C. All right. That's it. We're not done with the final review, but that's it for now. Come back to get more.